when you own something yourself, who gonna fire you? Hey y'all, it's Kimberly K, comes to you guys with another video in my entrepreneurship series. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about identifying the right business for you, securing your business name and social media platforms, and choosing a legal business structure that's perfect for you. Let's jump right into it. So I did take notes, of course. I want to make sure this is super valuable, super beneficial, and extremely helpful for each and every one of you. So I will be looking down every once in a while, but I will try my best to look directly at you because we are serious, okay? We are serious business owners over here, okay? Okay, so when it comes to identifying the right business for you, this is the motto or the structure or the phrase I like to keep in mind. Solve a common problem by using the skills and knowledge you already have. So for example, I'm an attorney as well as an influencer, so bringing those two worlds together by helping influencers review their contracts, negotiate their contracts, and overall just creating contract templates for influencers makes sense because, boom, problem, influencers may not have that legal knowledge. Solving that problem with knowledge that I already have, I've been an influencer for years, and now I'm a licensed attorney. Boom, there's a problem solved by using the common knowledge that I already have without having to take any additional classes. Of course, I'm always doing research. Like I said in part 1, which I will leave a link in the cards as well as in the description box below, I am constantly doing research, constantly learning, and I'm constantly a student really for the rest of my life. And I like it like that because things will always change, and as a business owner, I want to make sure I'm always progressing and increasing my knowledge to increase my business. And with that being said, I do want to mention the word saturation. I feel like everyone's like, YouTube is saturated, law is saturated, everything is so saturated. But with all due respect, I disagree. Because I could make the same exact YouTube video as someone else, but I will still have an audience to watch me. Not bragging, not being cocky, but it's because we have two different personalities. You can watch both videos for two completely different reasons. That's why I don't think any space is necessarily saturated, because no one can be you and that is your power. My favorite motto is what's for you is for you. So no matter what someone else is doing, what you provide and the value that you can provide is so unique, regardless if it's within the same realm, topic, career path, business, whatever the fact may be. Think about it like this. Imagine if Target was like, well, now there's already a Walmart. What? We need Target, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. I go to both. It just kind of depends on what I'm looking for and where I'm located. So don't be afraid to go after your dreams and start that business regardless if you feel like it's saturated. The next thing about identifying the right business for you is knowing your target audience. I feel like this is a phrase that's thrown out there all the time. And honestly, y'all, I was like, what in the target audience is going on? I have no idea what they're talking about. But generally, it's basically saying if you sat down and wrote all the characteristics of the person you want to sell to or watch your videos or buy your products or enroll in your coaching services, whatever the case may be, that's your target audience. So think of that one specific person, and it's very hard to think of a very narrow person because you want to attract a broader audience. You want to talk to everyone, but you have to talk to one person in order to talk to everyone. I know that's really hard. It's kind of like that phrase, if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none, something like that. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to someone very specific, because no matter what, you will still attract people that aren't necessarily in that very specific target audience. For example, I make lawyer life, day in the life, entrepreneur life videos. There are so many people that watch my law related vlogs that are not lawyers, that don't even want to go to law school. But I'm making my videos very specific, giving tips about being a lawyer, giving tips about being an entrepreneur and things of that nature. And people still watch it even though I'm initially speaking to a very targeted audience, if that makes sense. Comment below if that makes sense. Okay, so there's so many other things I could talk about when it comes to identifying the right business for you, but I think that gives you some good groundwork and foundation to start off and get your notepad out and start making those notes and start just brainstorming your ideas. Sometimes you literally putting a pen to paper could change the game in what you could possibly create, whether it's business-wise or just a small creative aspect to your business, whether that comes to social media, branding, marketing, etc. Which leads me to the second thing I want to talk about is securing your business and your social media platforms. So what I've been doing lately is when I think of a business idea or think of a business name, I go on Instagram and see if that name's available. I go on Google.com and see, Does that name already have a domain to it? Does somebody else already own that domain? Is there a trademark, etc.? Because I want to make sure that when I have that great business idea, it's actually something that could be mine and someone else doesn't already have, and then that comes into a whole legalese issue that we'll discuss a little bit later on in the video. So I always go to Instagram, always go to Google, check the trademark, things like that when I think of a creative name, because I've seen it over and over. It's happened to me as well as some of my colleagues and clients that I've worked with recently on branding and marketing strategies for their social media and for their business, where they've already had a whole brand thought out and then someone else has that LLC or someone else has that corporation or that partnership or that name or that Instagram, whatever the case may be, and that is very discouraging, especially as a new business owner. So that's why I always say, when you start to think of that name or you start to think of that creative idea, start to Google, start to check it, and just to double check to see is someone else already using that. Again, this doesn't have anything to do with the saturation thing that we just talked about. It's not whether someone else is already selling a clothing item or talking about that topic. It's the specific name. For instance, the creator's lawyer. Someone owns that trademark. I thought it was such a great name. Looked into it. I can't use it. Someone else already owns that trademark and is already using that domain as well as the Instagram. So just got to be aware of things like that. I know it's kind of like a tedious thing, but trust me, you'd rather do it early on than later and then be stuck in a rut to try to figure out another creative name after you've already spent the money on the samples and things like that. Don't do that, trust me. Editing Cameron here. I did want to add, do not feel obligated to immediately seek out a trademark attorney from the very beginning because your name may change. However, doing a quick Google search or looking up the social media is what I'm mainly focused on. Of course, if you're more further in your business, you want to get that trademark, but do not feel like I need to spend thousands of dollars to get a trademark right off the top. A trademark is completely different than establishing a legal business structure such as an LLC, which we'll talk about later in the video. Two completely different things. The trademark protects your name and the brand's name and your company's name. The LLC is a company structure which applies for your taxes and a variety of other benefits that come along with having a structured legal business entity, if that makes sense. So while we're talking about social media, let's go ahead and talk really quickly about advertising, marketing, and selling the actual products. You want to have a game plan, even if it's just like an outline sketch of what you may do or how you may use your social media platforms. Understand the platforms or hire somebody to do it. Hire a social media manager or take a course or take a master class, because there's very specific strategies for each platform. YouTube is a search engine. It's completely different than Instagram. There are ways and things that kind of overlap, but the use is completely different, especially if you're trying to sell a product, whether that's digitally, non-digital, a service, etc. There's different strategies needed for both platforms. Throw in TikTok, throw in LinkedIn, throw in Facebook. It varies, especially when it comes to putting ads on like your Facebook or your Instagram, you name it. You want to look into it and you want to have a game plan, see how other people have been using it. I'm always looking for inspiration. It's not copying. That's completely different. Do not be a copycat. That's not cute. We don't like that. It's illegal technically, depending on if you're using their trademark or their copyright. Don't do it, okay? So make sure you are just using their information, their technique, or their strategy as inspiration, because you want to switch it up and curate it for you. Again, your uniqueness is what's going to sell your products and is what's going to have people gravitate towards you. It's you, your uniqueness, your personality, and your specific product of how you built your own unique strategy to sell it. So within this, you want to think about your website. Okay, who are you going to use for a web host? This will be a great time to insert a sponsorship, but it's not. I use Squarespace. I really enjoy using Squarespace. I've been using it since I've started my CameronMonet.com. You can definitely check out my website. I'm always updating it, adding different unique things. I use Canva to create specific graphics and all that. My entire website I created myself. I'm working on getting some help. I definitely want to revamp it, but for now it's very easy to use for little old me. Outside of websites and social media, you want to think about how you're going to receive payment. So for instance, I have the Legal Tea Social, which is my exclusive membership group for law students as well as aspiring law students. And on there, I wasn't sure how to connect my Squarespace to receive recurring payments. I'm sure it's something you can do. Quick Google search. I'm always researching. I actually looked it up. But I decided to use Kartra, which is an additional platform that I have to pay for monthly or annually, depending on how you have it set up. And I use that through my Squarespace. They work very perfect together. It makes it super seamless and easy for people to go to the sales page, make launch pages, sales funnels, and all those good logistics behind the scenes of having a website and having recurring payments set up. Also, it allows me to have people use their PayPal. A lot of people like to use PayPal. Also, it gives me an option for people to use a credit card. So you want to see how you're going to set up your products. With that, you want to consider digital products versus non-digital products. I love that on Squarespace you can use digital or non-digital, set it up where it automatically sends the downloadable link and things like that. So it's very user-friendly. There are several other web host websites. I'm sure you guys know about Wix. I'm sure you all are familiar with a variety of different platforms, so you kind of just got to feel for it and see how it works. A lot of them have trials. Check that out for free, okay? Use their trials, figure it out, customize it how you want, and then see what website works best for you. Also, yes, they do pay. A lot of them, I pay my Squarespace annually because I know I'm going to use it, but there's ways to pay it monthly, a variety of different structures as far as, do you want the business Squarespace? Do you want the expertise and all the other updated Squarespace websites? Okay, enough about Squarespace. How many times did I say Squarespace? And with payment, I might as well talk about finances very briefly. You want to analyze your current finances. What can you invest in your business right now in this moment? Be realistic. You don't have to tell anybody else, but you're going to be the one that has to deal with whatever you decide to do. So be honest, be real. I use QuickBooks, which I'll talk more about in tomorrow's video, which is going to be all about finances and savings and budgets and all that good stuff. But it's a very good platform to use, especially starting out. I use the self-employed. I'm thinking about upgrading to the other ones, but it just depends. It gives me everything I need in one place so I can actually see what's coming in and what's going out in my business, because it's so important to see your income, your business expenses, and to actually know your actual profit. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to change the date. I just realized I forgot to change the date in the background when you're pre-recording and you are now caught, and I'm not about to redo that. So let's just it's fine. You guys are here for the knowledge, not the minor details. So the third and last thing I want to talk about is choosing the right legal structure for your business. So there are so many different ways to choose this, and this is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes. I am not your attorney. This is not creating attorney-client privilege. Please seek out counsel on your own, okay? Call your local state bar. For instance, call like the Alabama Bar Association. Tell them what you're looking for, and they can refer you an attorney. That's going to be your best bet, because a lot of things can be state specific, and this is just not the platform which I'm looking for clients at this moment. So I'm not seeking clients, just giving y'all information. Maybe that'll change, but we'll see. With that disclaimer out the way, I'm going to be briefly talking about all of the different types of ways to form your business. I'm not going to go into too much detail just because it can get real legalese real quick, but I will talk to you guys about them briefly. Then I'll go into more detail about LLC, because that's the one that I chose at this moment. Will I change it in the future? Maybe, possibly, but right now LLC is working for me. First, I'm going to talk about sole proprietorship. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes because I want to get this right. I want to be clear and precise and concise, okay? So a sole proprietorship is the simplest form of a business entity because you are the sole proprietor, meaning you are one person holding down that business, holding down the fort. You are the only person that is running the show. With that being said, your personal assets are intertwined with the business a lot of times. Therefore, you can be sued personally for anything going on with the business. You don't have to go through the piercing the corporate veil, which I'll talk about later on. You are the business, therefore you can be sued, okay? So clearly that means you are fully responsible for the company's debts, assets, being sued, liabilities, and all of those things. The benefit to this is it's super easy to set up, it's pretty cost effective, and it's easy to dissolve if you want to be done with that type of sole proprietorship, business, etc. You can just pretty much leave. Of course, there's some paperwork, but logistic-wise, it's pretty easy to form, get in, and get out. So this would be ideal for someone who's running a small business where maybe you don't have a storefront, very small, very intimate. It varies. Of course, this is me just talking. This is not, again, legal advice. There are so many different avenues and small little details that go into choosing the right legal structure for your business. But generally, you know, this is good for someone kind of just starting out, not really sure what you want to do, but want to form some type of business structure. I recommend LLCs, but we'll get to that later. The next business formation I want to talk about is partnerships. So this usually has at least 2 people or more running the business. So it could be a family member, a friend, a business partner, and you guys are starting a restaurant or a clothing store or an agency of some sort. This will be a good way for you to form your business. Now, there are 2 different types of partnerships. There's general and limited. General is where everyone has an equal share, and limited is where there's one person that's kind of like the ringleader or the ultimate CEO. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be serious, but y'all know I like to joke. More specifically, the limited partnership is where only one partner has control of its operations while the other person or persons contribute to and receive part of the profits. This, again, is pretty easy to form. It's a little bit more money than the sole proprietorship, and they do have a special taxation, which I'm not going to go into super detail. Taxes can get real confusing. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm a little bit knowledgeable, more than a little bit, if I do say so myself, because I do my own taxes and I've been doing a lot of research on it and stuff like that. But definitely consult with an accountant, with a tax attorney before you're forming these corporations. That can also help you get a better idea of what may be best for you when it comes to the taxation benefits and ups and downs when revolving that. But I will talk about them briefly tomorrow in the finance-based video. The next business entity I want to talk about is limited liability corporations, or LLCs. This is a very popular structure because we all see it when you have the Kameron Monet LLC or such and such agency LLC. It must have some type of LLC behind it that is a part of you forming the business entity under the LLC. They have a lot of different requirements, but I'm going to touch on a few of them. But make sure you go to the Secretary of State in your specific state in order for you to see what is all required, to see how much it costs and things of that nature, because it is a little bit more, of course, than the sole proprietorship when it comes to forming it. It's decently easy to form. However, it does have a ton of paperwork, and a lot of people are annoyed by that or thrown off by that because it is a lot of paperwork when you're starting out, as well as many states require an annual kind of update type thing. So definitely go to your Secretary of State and you can find that out. So what is an LLC? It's an entity that has the combination between a partnership as well as a sole proprietorship. And this entity allows owners, partners, and shareholders to limit their personal liabilities when it comes to enjoying the tax and flexibility benefits of a partnership business structure. It's a huge benefit because the members of the LLC are shielded from personal liability for the debts of the business. For instance, if someone wants to sue my company, they sue Kameron Monet LLC and they cannot get my personal assets. So if I owned a home, they couldn't reach out and sue me for my personal assets. However, there is this legal concept, so to say, called piercing the corporate veil. Essentially, if I do something illegal, unethical, or irresponsible while in the course of me running my business, they can reach and grab my personal assets. It's called piercing the corporate veil. All this legal stuff, I hope it makes sense. I'm speaking very general. It goes, of course, way more in depth, but generally that can happen when you have an LLC. So keep that in mind. You're not completely shielded from all personal liabilities forever, yet there is a way for them to reach back and grab your personal assets in a way. However, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, unethical, or irresponsible in the controlling of your business, you'll be fine. Like I said earlier, it does vary state to state when it comes to prices and the specifics when it comes to forming your business as an LLC. And it also can be used for small businesses as well as larger businesses. Several businesses use it often. I feel like I said businesses like 20 times. But I do recommend LLCs. That's what I chose. But we'll talk more about that after I talk to you guys about a corporation. So a corporation is an entity that has the most separation. And what I mean by that is the law regards a corporation as its own person. So that corporation can sell something, buy something. You can have shareholders. There's a lot of benefits when it comes to stocks and things of that nature. It is its own person, essentially. It is completely independent of its owners. Like I said, it can be sued. It can sue by itself without having the owner title. Of course, a corporation has to have an owner. But legally, a corporation is like its own person, completely separate from its owners. When it comes to corporations, there are a variety of different types. There's C corporations, S corporations, B corporations, closed corporations, open corporations, and nonprofit corporations. I think I got them all. And they vary price depending on which corporation you want to, of course, register. They also are a little bit more expensive than the other ones. I want to briefly talk about business licenses. You have to check to see what type of license you need to run the business that you are running. For instance, if I started a law firm, I need malpractice insurance. I need a specific business license to hold a law firm and things of that nature. If you want to start a store, there may be buying and selling licenses that you need within your state. I'm speaking very generally. I'm trying not to use extreme legalese. I want to make this very clear and easy for everyone to understand. So I'm speaking, you know, very general and very non-legal jargon, Latin term use. But you want to make sure that you are completely covered. Not only regarding the license, like I did just mention malpractice insurance, to me that's all kind of looped together. You need your licenses and insurance simultaneously. It's very important for your business. I would hate for you to get your storefront up, start selling items, and then you get shut down or hit with a really large fee, whether it's from your county, it's from your state, or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row in that area. And I want to leave you guys with this one little tidbit. I do believe that you should discuss your business desires, aspirations, and needs with an actual licensed attorney as opposed to going on to LegalZoom and things of that nature, because sometimes they do not have licensed attorneys drafting the documents or going through the documents, and you don't get personalized, unique attention as you do if you speak to an actual attorney. So like I said in the beginning, go to your state's bar association, get a lawyer referral, go on your Secretary of State, get your name registration, and all the things that we discussed in today's video so you can get your business up and running. Because listen, okay, there's no better thing than having multiple streams of income. Even if you do have a 9-to-5, quick rant. I believe that having a 9-to-5 full-time job is less of job security than hiring yourself. Why do I say that? Because many states have an at-will law, meaning your employer can fire you for a good reason, a bad reason, or no reason at all. That's not to say there's anything wrong with having a 9-to-5, and there's other jobs and several hoops that you may have to go through or that your company may have to go through to fire you. Of course, I understand that sometimes it's not as easy as, nope, you're done, I'm done, you know? Sometimes it's not like that. But when you own something yourself, who gonna fire you? But seriously, you have to think wisely, especially during a time like this. Multiple streams of income really is the way to go, regardless of how much money you're making. I don't care if you're at a 9-to-5 and you're making $500,000 a year. 1 minute that could be gone, and then what do you have coming in? Absolutely nothing. You want to start to build generational wealth, and the best way to do that is by having multiple streams of income. Of course, another thing, which I'm not going to discuss in this series, but maybe later on in life, I will talk about investing and things of that nature. I myself have been doing a ton of researching and trying to figure out what that looks like for me personally, and what in my life and my goals. And like I said in the first video about your life goals, your career goals, but definitely start to focus on how you can make more money, where you can make more money, and what are your goals. So just wanted to leave you guys with that little tidbit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you're enjoying this series. Leave me some comments down in the comment section below. Definitely leave me some Q&A questions. I want to see whatever questions you guys have. Maybe I'll answer them in the next video. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload, and I will see you guys in my next video. Later!